Good morning all. In this video, we are going to look at how to prepare for current affairs for competitive exams. So daily newspaper reading is extremely essential, and for UPSC Civil Services IAS exam especially, the recommended newspaper is The Hindu. So at least this newspaper thorough reading is the foremost thing that's required. So how to prepare from the Hindu newspaper is a challenge, especially for freshers. So sometimes students say that we spend 3 hours reading the newspaper. It takes in a lot of time. So this is a video making you understand how you can read newspapers, understand what's relevant and what's not. In the initial phase of your preparation, you need assistance because you don't have the background idea of what topics are important, relevant and what are not. So this video will help you with that. So for today, current affairs for 16th March 2017, we are giving you the gist of the news items. So these are the headlines which have been picked up from the Hindu newspaper. And we look at the actual newspaper too, going through them so that you understand what topics have been picked up from what page and what are not. So here's the newspaper for today. This is Bangalore edition. So that is why the front page here you can see has the state budget news, which is irrelevant for UPSC because we are preparing for competitive exam at the national level. So all state relevant news will not be important. Some of them may be, which have national significance. Right? Then this is the article about Jammu and Kashmir encounter. So again, this is specific news of a specific time period. And we are looking for news preparation for a year because then you will be writing an exam. So this news again is of some relevance, but such news keep on coming. Here specifically it is important because a stray bullet also hit an 11-year-old boy. So 3 militants were killed in this Jammu and Kashmir encounter, and a girl actually was also killed. A boy was injured. So again, a headline and a little scanning is important. You don't need to make notes and remember from this. Then going down, again, suspension over UP Uttarakhand CM presently, suspense over these. So these are the new CMs after the assembly elections. So again, this news will keep on coming after the assembly elections, the results and the controversies. We don't need to go through them daily, though it goes on news channels and all, but it's not important from UPSC perspective. At the end of whole drama, whatever is the final conclusion will be important, because remember, we are not looking at daily preparing for an exam. We are going to give an exam at the end of the year, right? So means at the end of a year of preparation. Then the next page again will be state related news. So you can see Bengaluru. So whatever state it may be, Delhi, it would be mentioned here. So again, these news for us. Third page again, you can see Bengaluru, not important. If you are preparing for some state level exam and you want to know about this, you can go ahead. Otherwise, not important. Again, not important. Then comes Karnataka state. Again, it is not important. Then South. Again, specific South related news. You can just scan through. If you find something of relevance, fine. Otherwise, it's not important. The news which is of national level importance here is this. Team India speaks Italian-Indian experiment for moon. So this is important. This we'll look through. We have picked it up here. You can see too. Team India speaks Indian-Italian experiment for moon. So we'll discuss this in detail. Then comes again Padmavati set vandalized. All this you can just scan through. It's not important from UPSC perspective. Then comes the editorial page. So here on the editorial page, you need to read the two editorials. These. Conflict at Sukma. So this is regarding the Maoist ambush in which CRPF personnel were killed. This we have discussed in news earlier. So if you keep reading the news, editorial is also something about which you have a background. So this is the editorial on that, and this is regarding it's complicated. Turkey and EU nations can't afford to wait till the referendum to de-escalate tension. So this is regarding Turkey specifically, but an editorial here will give you a complete idea of what's going on. So small write-up here will be very much of significance, though this is of international as such. So it is of less relevance than national news, and this is not of any relevance for India specifically. But Turkey issue has been in news for long, so you can go through this editorial too. Then coming to this is called the lead article. Saffron storm in Uttar Pradesh. Not important. This is about the politics. So again, what has happened? Saffron storm means BJP has got a huge majority in UP. So analyzing that, not important for UPSC. crimes of apartheid. So this is again on a UN report for Israeli policy. So once you have understood about the Israeli issue, Israel-Palestine conflict, then you don't need to go through these articles every time. So once get an idea about Israel-Palestine conflict, we have also prepared a complete write-up on this. Once done with that, you don't need further reading of all these small tidbits which keep on coming. Then you go to the next page. This is called the op-ed page after the editorial section here. On this also you have articles. So this is an exit from Brexit. So this also has been in news now. There's an article on it. So if you do daily news, you should already know about Scotland seeking a second referendum. So again, this article write-up will not be important. So these 2 pages editorial op-ed are on write-ups, on news which is there. So once you know the news of it, then you don't need to go in depth in detail of these articles, because these are of international relevance and not having any direct linkage to India. So a knowledge of it is important, a detailed analysis not important. Then a battle settled from the start. So this is again regarding elections, anti-incumbency, Uttarakhand, not important. Then this is about maternity benefit bill. Again, this has been done in news. When you do news daily, you will go through maternity benefit act also bill, which is also there, act passed. And this is talking about gender parity. So this is specifically talking about men also having some burden and men also getting some benefit. So maternity benefit actually gives paid leave. So paid leave is for women, not for men. So we know the society and the setup which we have, the burden is on female. So in some cases, it may be the case that male can also be given, men can also be given, fathers can be given some benefits. But it is maybe in those cases where the female has some concerns, or it has to be divided. You cannot give maternity benefit and paternity benefit also, because then we know those would be leaves, holidays, rather than for the child. So that aspect can be incorporated, it has to be intelligently incorporated into the provision. So that has been argued for. Otherwise, maternity benefit bill has made various provisions, discussed in news is enough. You don't need another article to go through it. So if you have not been doing daily news earlier, since the last few days and just started, then maybe this will give you some information. Otherwise, you can just skip this. So that is it here. Then we go to the news page. So here again, politics, about the post-election results. Again, CM, Goa, Manipur, these were the assembly states elections which were held in 5 states. Uttarakhand, UP, Goa, Manipur and Punjab. So this whole thing is all about that. So we don't need to do this. This is important. NIA hunts for 6 men who received IS funds. So you can see we have picked this up to here. We'll discuss this. So you should go through that article in detail. Then again, use of EVMs issue raised again. Still it is a controversy. If there's something substantial coming in, you can go ahead and discuss in detail about EVMs. Otherwise, this is all politics, not important. Then comes the next page again. So New Delhi gets busy with VIP visits. So this is mentioning about the future VIP visits which will be there in India. So when the visits actually come, there'll be too much in detail of news coverage for them with each state, each country which is from which the visit is coming and what relations were there will be there. So then this article will become redundant. So if you're looking at the large scale perspective that you would be having notes and content prepared later, then this you can just skip or you can just glance through it. You don't need to make a mention of it. Others, not important. Again, the next page is international news. So in this international news, you can see this is regarding Pakistan census after 19 years. Just the headline, done with it. Trump should speak up against racial crimes. This has been done since when the attacks took place. We have done with it. No need of another article now. Dutch voting, again, not important from you, as per our perspective, nothing to do with us. So that is it. Fascism rampant in Europe. This is, again, we know about it and we just have an idea about Europe, how it is becoming a closed. Nations in Europe are trying to, racial aspect coming forth. So fascism, spirit of fascism rampant. This is a statement made by Turkish president. But then again, you don't need to go through this article. Then comes the economy page. So here on economy page, here the article is bad loans slowing remains a challenge. So this we have covered up here. You can see bad loans. Exports climb for a sixth straight month. This also you have to go through. Then banks against farm loan waiver. This also we have covered up here. So today in today's newspaper, it is so that economy related articles are more on this page. Road Ministry wants core status for multimodal logistic parks, multimodal. Here also, this also we have covered here. You can see. Then Center unveils plans for export infrastructure and India hosts world's oldest algae. These are the two other articles picked up. So you can see. Poll win, again, we don't need to go through all that. Post poll, all these election related, all these aspects are not important. This is export infra, article 1. And then comes the last page on which we have, this is the sports page. Sports page not important from UPSC perspective. So this you can just glance through if you are interested, otherwise it's fine. Then so these three are sports pages. Then the last page. So this is the last one. India hosts world's oldest algae fossil. That is it. These are now going through the news items which we have picked up. So here you can see these are the 8 news items picked up from the newspaper. First one, NIA hunts for 6 men who received IS funds. So IS here is Islamic State. You should be knowing about it. It has developed its clout in especially Syria and Iraq, and now it is spreading across, and it has spread through use of social media, and there is funding being provided here, and many Indians have also been named here, involved here, and NIA, National Investigation Agency, is hunting them out. So this is regarding that. And NIA is an organization which you should know about, because even in GS3 security agencies are important for us. So this a gist of NIA too. It was formed in 2008 post the Mumbai terror attacks. So at that time it was realized that for terror related crimes we need a specific investigating agency, a central investigating agency, because law and order is actually a state subject. So this is a investigating agency which does not require permission from states also to investigate into terror related crimes. So this is NIA, National Investigation Agency, came into existence through an act of the Parliament, National Investigation Agency Act of 2008. The next news item is Team Indus picks Italian-Indian experiments for moon. So this is Team Indus, which is going to send a spacecraft to moon, and it is part of the Google Lunar X Prize contest. So this is one of the teams selected by Google Lunar X Prize. This is a $20 million contest. So this challenge here is that a private team with not having more than 10% government funding should land a robo on the surface of the moon. Means it should move 500 meters on or above the surface of the moon and send back HDTV mooncast to everyone, high definition mooncasts. So this image has been the target, and for this challenge many teams have been selected, shortlisted to further, and Team Indus is one of them. So here it has been decided that Team Indus will be using PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, to launch its lander. And for this, other experiments would also be taken over on the spacecraft. So for that, this is the news that an Indian and Italian experiment has been picked up by Team Indus. So this is Space for Life, a student team from Naples in Italy, who have won the contest which Team Indus held to pick up experiments which it will take along with it for its moon mission. So this is there in Central University of Thiruvarur. So these two have been picked up. So this is the specific news. This has been in news for long, and this launch will also take place in December 2017, means by the end of the year. So this has been in news and will continue be in news. So you should know about this Google Lunar X Prize contest, right? So that is there. Then the next news item is export climbs for a 6th straight month. So again, these are monthly news which keep coming in. So every month you don't need to remember and recollect them, but just an idea. So it's not something to remember, but yes, exports are rising, plus imports are also rising, and the trade deficit is increasing. Trade deficit means if you have more of exports means foreign currency exchange coming in, and if you have more of imports means foreign exchange going out. So if there is more of imports and less of exports, if imports are high and exports are low, then there will be a deficit. means you have to pay much more than what you're getting in foreign exchange. So this is trade deficit. We have a trade deficit. We have imports also rising. We have exports also rising, and imports are rising much more at higher percentage than exports. That is why trade deficit is widening. So that you should understand. Another term important. So majorly why are imports rise? Major imports are gold and oil imports are a huge chunk. So oil imports have also jumped 60% compared to last year, Feb 2016. If you see Feb 2017 imports, it's a 60% jump. So that's what it is saying. So oil prices keep fluctuating, global oil prices too. So of course it will have its impact. And we are also importing a lot of gold. So these make our import will go high. And here there is a term called Brent prices. Already UPSC has asked a question on this, so you should know about Brent prices. So these are Brent crude oil prices. So price, it's a trading classification, the term used Brent for sweet light crude oil. So this is a benchmark price which is used for transactions in oil worldwide. So 2/3 of the world's internationally traded crude oil supplies is done using this Brent price benchmark. Then the next news item is bad loans slowing remains a challenge. So this is regarding bad loans, means loans which are not being paid to the banks, means payment of interest principal amount is not coming forth. So they become bad loans for the banks. And these are called non-performing assets because loans given by the banks are the assets. They will earn on this. Interest is earned by them on this. So since payments are not coming forth, so these are becoming non-performing. So these are called NPAs, non-performing assets, and this is a huge burden in India, especially for our public sector banks. So these loans which have been given and repayment is not coming back on it, this is a drag on the banks now. So even further lending is affected, and that is why the economy also gets affected overall. So that is why government wants to resolve this NPA issue. And for that, an idea which has come forth is that of a bad bank. So this was Chief Economic Advisor Mr. Arvind Subramanian. He has given this idea in the economic survey this year, 2016-17, that a bad bank has to be set up. So bad bank will do what? Take up all these bad loans. So banks are free from it. So all banks can be free, and this bank will look into restructuring this asset. So it is as Public Sector Asset Rehabilitation Agency, PARA. So this is the idea that a PARA should be set. This is bad bank. So it's another name for bad bank. So he says this should be done even if government feels that it would be charged with crony capitalism. Now what is crony capitalism? We'll understand that too. So what these banks will do, it will take up non-performing assets. And so the larger chunk, which is of huge significance. So there are huge NPAs. These are NPAs because these are larger capitalist companies which have not been able to repay. So what to do with them? And the government is justifying to saying that it was actually a boom period earlier. And in this boom period, many of these corporates, they took up huge loans. And they were doing well, but because of the global financial crisis in 2008, since then they have been suffering. So that resulted, means it was a international reason, an international crisis which affected them. So they need help. So it's justified in that way, and they're saying that NPAs of theirs would be taken up. So they would be benefiting. So that's why the government would then be charged that it is favoring the capitalists. So that way, this, though it would be charged, the CA, Chief Economic Advisor, says this is a step essential and has to be taken. So that is what he said. So these finance minister has also said that very large corporates are involved here, especially in these four sectors: steel, power, infrastructure, and textile sector. So we'll see, no decision has been taken up on it yet, and it keeps on coming in news. So once you know about it, then you will not take so much time to understand what is PARA, what is bad bank. Right? So this is the present discussion also which is taking place on non-performing assets. So they want asset management company, of public sector asset management company. There are already asset management companies which restructure loans and make them profitable, viable in some way. So that is done. So we'll see what further decision comes forth through this. You can see there is 6 lakh crore worth of NPAs presently. Then this is the bad bank idea also discussed here. So this concept was first put forth by US based, this Pittsburgh headquartered Mellon Bank in 1988. So bank's commercial real estate portfolio was suffering. So that is why this bad bank idea was put forth. And it is there presently. It has also been used earlier in Sweden, France, and Germany as well. right? So first in this bank, some such banks are also there mentioned here, you can see. Para. So India's answer to the bad loan problem. Right? So you can see gross NPS, 12% of gross advances of public sector banks. Private sector banks are still fine, but for public sector banks, the percentage is quite high. Of total advances, 12% are NPS. Total loans means. So this results in further growth, credit growth being slowed. So further, then banks would not be having the credit facility. They cannot give more further loans. So their functioning is affected, and overall then economy credit generation becomes a difficulty. So that is why this needs to be resolved. So this is about how PARA would be functioning too, that it will purchase specified loans from banks, and the emphasis here again by the Chief Economic Advisor, Finance Minister, is that larger NPAs of these large corporates should be taken up and they should be put before PARA. Then the next news item is banks against farm loan waiver in UP. So in UP elections, before the elections, BJP had promised that if it comes to power, then it will forgive all the loans, farm loans of farmers in Uttar Pradesh. So it has come true. It has been voted to power with a huge majority. So now banks are fearing that what would be the government's step if it fulfills this promise and loan waiver is provided. Then means all farmers would be free of the loans which they have taken. They would not have to pay the interest or principal amount. So this, the banks are saying, especially SBI chairman Ms. Arundhati Bhattacharya, she says that this actually disturbs credit discipline. So when loans are taken, then there should be discipline maintained, that interests have to be paid regularly, principal amount has to be paid back. And when such measures are put forth again and again, that waiver is given, that farmers don't have to pay any loan, they don't have to pay any interest, then they also feel that such schemes would come forth and they keep on delaying interest. Means there is no incentive for paying on time. Rather, there is, if you're not paying, it will be waived off eventually. So that is where it has been highlighted that such measures are not in favor of credit discipline, and it will further affect things in the future for the banks. So she says one-time settlement schemes still give fairly good results, that one-time settlement is done, but this credit waiver, again and again loan waiver, is not good. The next news item is Road Ministry wants core status for multimodal logistics parks. So multimodal logistics parks. Logistics means when goods are traded, that is movement, transportation required. So that is for logistics aspect. Multimodal means various modes of transports together, means by railways also, by land route also, by sea route also, by river, inland waterways, whatever. So this means multimodal transit. So such multimodal logistics parks are being planned in the country. So there are 15 locations which have been shortlisted by this road ministry, and they will be developed as such. So now the ministry wants Commerce Ministry to recommend them for infrastructure status. So if they are given infrastructure status, they would be eligible for lower rate of interest, long-term funding. Means loans can be given at lower rate of interest for this for long term. So that is what it is being sought. Final decision will be taken by the Finance Ministry based on the recommendations of Commerce Ministry. So this suggestion is being put forth now. So they want to, means they say that this will help in reducing the logistics cost, because in India logistics cost is quite high. So even exports are suffering because of logistics. So in China logistic cost is around 8 to 10%, India it is 18%. So because of transportation cost added up, the commodity becomes costly. So then we lose our competitive edge in exports. So that is why this is being highlighted. So means integration of road, rail, waterway, air transportation can be done to create facilities so that logistics costs reduce. So this is the suggestion given here. The next news item is Centre unveils plan for export infra. So the government has come up with a new scheme now, Trade Infrastructure for Export Scheme, TIES. So this will be boosting export related infrastructure, developing it so that competitiveness of India's exports is enhanced. So what we discussed earlier too, logistics are required. So here also last mile connectivity required will be provided for, quality certification infrastructure which is required, labs which are required, because when you're exporting, you need quality assurance and certifications as per the export requirements. So those should also be provided for. So such infrastructure would be set up using this scheme would be there. And this is for the financial year 2018 to 2020 for 3 years. 200 crore outlay per year has been decided for this scheme. So total 600 crores has been allocated. So this is there. The earlier scheme which was there will be replaced now. This was assistance to states for creating infrastructure for development and growth of exports. So here state governments were given assistance. So this has been scrapped and this new scheme will replace it now. So this is the news. You can see border huts will be established, land custom stations, even cold chains, quality testing, certification labs. These are the infrastructures which would be required for boosting export. Then the last news item is India hosts world's oldest algae fossil. So this is a fossil which has been found, which is 1.6 billion years old. So this is said to be red algae. So this has been found in the rocks here, phosphorite rocks in Chitrakoot region in UP MP. So it is cannot be said 100% sure that this is red algae because there is no DNA remaining now, because it is a very, very old fossil. The oldest fossil so far known was of red algae of 1.2 billion years ago. So this is now the oldest fossil as such put forth. So scientists have used X-rays to observe the platelets here in the cells and they have seen chloroplasts. So algae can produce their own food. They have these chloroplasts. So organelles, these are there within the cells for photosynthesis, have been found through X-ray in these fossils. So this is about the red algae. They are eukaryotic. So eukaryotic means they can be single cell to multicellular, but eukaryotic are advanced group of organisms. Prokaryotic are initial organisms which you have. So they can produce, algae can produce their own food through photosynthesis. So they can be in marine environments too, freshwater species on sandy shores also, they have been found. So these are the news items. Thank you.